Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Two Voices English Podcast. I'm Mia.
And I'm Leo. Today we are talking about a very important topic, mental health.
That's right, Leo. Sometimes we focus so much on our physical health, like going to the gym or eating vegetables, that we forget about our minds. But our mental health is just as important as our physical health.
Exactly. But what does mental health actually mean? For some people, it sounds like a scary medical term.
It shouldn't be scary. Simply put, mental health is about how we think, how we feel, and how we act. It's about how we handle stress, how we relate to other people, and the choices we make every day.
So it's not just about being happy all the time.
Not at all. Everyone feels sad, angry, or stressed sometimes. Having good mental health doesn't mean you never have problems. It means you have the tools to deal with those problems when they happen.
That makes sense. I think many of us feel like we have to be strong and perfect every day, especially with everything happening in the world and on social media.
You're right, there is a lot of pressure. People often show only the best parts of their lives online. We see beautiful photos and think, why isn't my life like that? This can really affect our mood.
I've felt that too. Sometimes I scroll through my phone and start feeling like I'm not doing enough. It makes me feel anxious.
That anxious feeling is a mental health signal. It's your mind telling you that something is out of balance. Today, we want to talk about how to recognize those signals and how to take care of our minds, just like we take care of our bodies.
We have a lot to cover today. We'll talk about stress, the importance of sleep, how to talk to friends about our feelings, and small habits that can make a big difference.
Let's start by looking at stress. It's something everyone experiences, but not everyone knows how to manage it. Leo, what is the most stressful part of your week?
For me, it's definitely Monday mornings. The long list of things to do for the week can feel very heavy.
I think many of our listeners feel the same way. When that heavy feeling starts, what do you usually do?
Usually, I just try to work harder, but sometimes that makes it worse. I think I need better strategies.
That is a very common mistake, Leo. When we feel stressed, we often think the solution is to run faster. But actually, when you are stressed, your brain is in survival mode. It's hard to think clearly when you feel like you are running away from a lion.
A lion? My office is definitely not a jungle, Mia, but sometimes it feels like one.
Exactly. Our bodies don't know the difference between a deadline and a dangerous animal. When you have a long to-do list, your heart beats faster, and your breathing becomes shallow. This is why working harder often leads to mistakes or feeling burnt out.
So, if working harder isn't the answer, what should we do instead? If I stop working, the work doesn't go away.
True, the work is still there, but the goal is to change how your brain handles the work. One of the simplest things you can do, and it sounds almost too simple, is to breathe.
Just breathe? I'm doing that right now.
I mean conscious breathing. When we are stressed, we take short, quick breaths in our chest. This tells the brain, stay stressed, stay alert. But if you take deep, slow breaths into your stomach, it sends a signal to your nervous system to calm down. It's like hitting a reset button.
I've heard of the box breathing technique. Is that what you mean?
Yes, you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. It's a great tool because you can do it anywhere, on the bus, at your desk, or even while you're waiting for a meeting to start.
I should try that next time my inbox is full. Another thing I noticed is that my body gets very tight. My shoulders are usually up near my ears by 2 p.m.
That's a physical sign of mental stress. Our minds and bodies are connected. If your mind is worried, your muscles get tight. Sometimes taking just 5 minutes to walk away from your screen and stretch can change your whole mood.
I find that going for a short walk outside helps me a lot, even if it's just 10 minutes around the block. The fresh air and the change of scenery make the problems feel a bit smaller.
That's because you are giving your brain a break from problem-solving mode. When you walk, your brain enters a more creative state. Have you ever noticed that your best ideas come when you are in the shower or walking and not when you are staring at your computer?
All the time. I guess I need to stop feeling guilty about taking those small breaks. I used to think I was being lazy, but maybe I was just taking care of my mental health.
It's definitely not lazy. It's necessary. Think of your brain like a smartphone battery. If you use it all day without charging it, it will eventually turn off. Taking breaks and breathing are like mini charges throughout the day.
I like that analogy. But what happens when the stress isn't just about work? What if it's about everything else? Family, money, or the future?
That's a much bigger conversation. Often we feel stressed because we are trying to control things that are impossible to control. We worry about things that haven't happened yet.
You're so right about that. I spend a lot of time thinking about what if? What if I lose my job? What if I get sick? What if people don't like my work? It's like a movie playing in my head, and usually it's a scary movie.
We call that catastrophizing. It's a big word, but it just means imagining the worst possible thing will happen. Our brains do this because they want to protect us. They think, if I imagine the danger, I can prepare for it. But the danger isn't real yet, so I'm just feeling scared for no reason.
Exactly. A great way to stop this is to use a circle of control. Imagine a big circle. Inside the circle are the things you can control, like what you eat, when you go to bed, how you speak to others, and your own actions.
And outside the circle?
Outside are things you cannot control, like the weather, the economy, the traffic, or what other people think about you. Most of our anxiety comes from standing outside the circle, trying to push things that won't move.
So instead of worrying about the economy, I should focus on how I manage my own money.
Exactly. Instead of worrying if people will like you, focus on being a kind person. When you shift your focus back to your own circle, you feel much more powerful and much less anxious.
I like that. It makes the world feel smaller and more manageable. But what about the way we talk to ourselves? I realized the other day that I am very mean to myself in my head. If a friend made a mistake, I would say, "It's okay, don't worry." But if I make a mistake, I say, "Leo, you are so stupid. Why did you do that?"
That is such an important point, Leo. This is our internal monologue. Most of us have a very loud inner critic. This critic is often much harsher than any boss or teacher.
Why are we so mean to ourselves?
Sometimes we think being hard on ourselves will help us improve. We think, if I'm mean to myself, I won't be lazy. But research shows the opposite is true. If you are mean to yourself, you feel depressed and less motivated.
So what's the alternative? Do I just tell myself I'm amazing all the time?
Not necessarily. It's about self-compassion. It just means treating yourself like a good friend. If your friend failed a test or had a bad day, you wouldn't shout at them. You would listen and offer a cup of tea.
So next time I fail at something, I should try saying, "This was hard and it's okay to be disappointed, but I can try again tomorrow."
Perfect. That simple change in your self-talk can lower your stress levels significantly. It's like being your own coach instead of your own bully.
I'm going to try being a coach today. But Leo, even with a good coach, sometimes the bad vibes or the heavy feelings stay for a long time. It's not just a bad morning, it's a bad week or a bad month.
That's when we need to look at our environment and our habits. Sometimes our mental health is affected by things we don't even notice, like how much light is in our room or what we are eating.
You're right, Leo. Sometimes the problem isn't just in our thoughts, it's in our routine. I like to think of mental health as a house. Your thoughts are the furniture, but your habits are the foundation. If the foundation is weak, the furniture will slide around no matter how nice it is.
That's a great image. So, what are the most important parts of that foundation?
The big three are sleep, food, and movement. Let's talk about sleep first. It is probably the most powerful mental health tool we have. When you don't sleep enough, the part of your brain that manages emotions, the amygdala, becomes much more sensitive.
Is that why I get so grumpy and annoyed when I only sleep 5 hours?
Exactly. Small problems feel like huge disasters because your brain hasn't had time to clean itself. During sleep, your brain actually washes away toxins and processes the memories of the day. Without it, you're basically running on an old, dirty engine.
I've noticed that if I look at my phone right before bed, I can't fall asleep. The blue light makes my brain think it's morning.
Yes, and the content on the phone keeps your mind active. You might see a news story that worries you or a photo that makes you feel jealous right before you close your eyes. Try to have a digital sunset, no screens 30 minutes before sleep. Read a paper book or listen to some calm music instead.
Okay, digital sunset. I like that. What about food? I know eating junk food makes my body feel bad, but does it really change my mind?
100%. Have you ever heard the term hangry? It's when you are so hungry that you become angry. That's because your blood sugar is low. But it's more than that. Your gut and your brain are constantly talking to each other through a long nerve called the vagus nerve.
So, if my stomach is unhappy, my brain is unhappy?
Often, yes. If you eat a lot of sugar, you get a high feeling, but then you crash. That crash can feel exactly like a panic attack or a sudden wave of sadness. Eating stable, healthy meals helps keep your mood stable too. And we can't forget about caffeine.
Oh no, don't take away my coffee, Mia.
You don't have to quit, but be careful. Caffeine mimics the feeling of anxiety. It makes your heart beat faster and your hands shake. If you are already a worried person, too much coffee is like adding oil to a fire.
I'll try to stick to 1 cup in the morning then. And the third part of the foundation was movement, right?
Yes, and I don't mean you have to run a marathon, just moving your body for 20 minutes. Dancing in your kitchen, walking the dog, or stretching releases endorphins. These are the body's natural feel-good chemicals. They are literally natural antidepressants.
It's interesting how physical mental health is. It's not just all in your head.
It really isn't. But even with perfect sleep and a great diet, we are social animals. We can't stay healthy if we are always alone.
That is so true. I think sometimes when I feel down, my first instinct is to hide. I stay home, I don't answer my phone, and I close the curtains. I feel like I don't want to bother anyone with my bad mood.
That is a very common reaction, Leo. We often think, I'll wait until I feel better, then I'll go out. But isolation is like fuel for depression and anxiety. When we are alone, our thoughts just spin in circles and get louder and louder.
It's like being in a room with a broken record player.
Exactly. Talking to someone else, even just for 5 minutes, is like opening a window in that room. It brings in fresh air. It breaks the cycle of the broken record.
But it's hard to talk about these things. In many cultures, we are told to stay strong or keep our problems to ourselves. It feels vulnerable to say, I'm having a hard time.
It is vulnerable, but vulnerability is actually a strength. When you tell a friend, actually, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed lately, you give them permission to be honest too. Usually, you'll find out they've felt the same way.
I've noticed that. When I finally told my brother I was feeling stressed, he said, Me too. I thought I was the only one. We both felt better just knowing we weren't alone.
That me too is the most powerful sentence in mental health. It removes the shame.
What if someone doesn't have a close friend or family member they can talk to? Or what if they are the one listening to a friend?
That's a great question. If you are the listener, you don't need to be a doctor. You don't even need to have the answers. Most of the time, people just want to be heard. We call this active listening.
How do you do that? I usually want to give advice immediately. I say, you should do this or you should do that.
Advice can be helpful later, but first, people just need to feel understood. Active listening means giving them your full attention, putting your phone away, looking at them, and saying things like, "That sounds really hard," or "I can see why you feel that way."
So I don't have to fix their problem?
No, you just have to hold the space for them. Just being there is often enough to lower their stress.
And for people who feel truly alone, there are always professional options. I think there used to be a lot of stigma or shame about seeing a therapist, but that's changing.
It is changing. Seeing a therapist is just like going to a physical therapist for a back injury. You are going to a professional to learn how to move your mind in a healthier way. There's no shame in it. In fact, it's one of the best investments you can make.
I agree. But sometimes, even when we talk to people, we still feel stuck in our own heads, like we are trapped in the past or worried about the future.
That brings us to a very popular topic in mental health: mindfulness. It's about being here and now.
Mindfulness is a word we hear everywhere these days, but it's actually very simple. It just means being fully present in the moment. It means being here instead of being in your memories or in your worries about next week.
I'll be honest, Mia, that sounds really difficult for me. My brain is like a fast car. It's always driving somewhere else. If I'm eating breakfast, I'm thinking about my meeting at 10. If I'm at the meeting, I'm thinking about what I want for dinner.
You have what we call a monkey mind, Leo. It jumps from one branch to another, never sitting still. Most of us are like that. We spend about 50% of our lives thinking about something other than what we are actually doing.
That's a lot of missed life. So, how do we train the monkey to sit still?
One of my favorite tools for this is the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. It's a grounding exercise. When you feel your mind starting to spin or feel anxious, you stop and look around you.
Okay, let's try it right now. What do I do?
First, notice 5 things you can see right now in this room.
Okay, I see my microphone, my coffee cup, the window, a blue notebook, and your headphones.
Good. Now, 4 things you can touch or feel.
I feel the chair under me, the warmth of the coffee cup, the texture of my sweater, and the floor under my feet.
Now, 3 things you can hear.
I hear the hum of the computer, a car passing outside, and the sound of your voice.
2 things you can smell.
I can definitely smell the coffee and maybe the rain from outside.
And finally, 1 thing you can taste.
Still the coffee.
See? In just 1 minute, you brought your brain back into your body. You aren't in the future anymore. You are right here in this room having a conversation.
Wow, I actually feel much calmer. It's like my brain was a blurry photo that just came into focus.
That is mindfulness. You can do it with anything. You can do mindful eating, where you really taste every bite of your food instead of watching TV. Or mindful walking, where you feel the ground and notice the colors of the trees.
I think I've been living my life on autopilot, like a robot just doing tasks without really experiencing them.
Most of us do. And the problem with autopilot is that it's where all our negative habits live. When we are mindful, we can choose how to react. If someone is mean to you and you are on autopilot, you might get angry immediately. But if you are mindful, you can catch that anger and say, "Wait, I don't need to be angry right now."
It's like creating a little space between the problem and the reaction.
Exactly. That space is where your mental health grows. But remember, the goal isn't to have a clear mind with no thoughts. That's impossible. The goal is just to notice when your mind wanders, and gently, without being mean to yourself, bring it back.
Like training a puppy. You don't hit the puppy for running away, you just pick it up and put it back on the grass.
I love that. Yes, be a kind puppy trainer for your own brain. But even with mindfulness and good habits, sometimes life throws something really heavy at us. A big loss, a big change, or a deep sadness that won't go away.
You mentioned big losses, Mia, like losing a job, a relationship ending, or even losing someone we love.
Those are the moments when just breathing or taking a walk feels like it's not enough.
You're absolutely right, Leo. There are times in life when the pain is very deep. We often use the word grief for this. Most people think grief is only about death, but you can feel grief for any big change. It's a very heavy, slow kind of sadness.
I think when people feel that way, they feel a lot of pressure to get over it. Their friends might say, "Come on, stay positive," or "Time heals everything." But sometimes time feels like it's standing still.
Stay positive can actually be quite harmful when someone is truly hurting. We call it toxic positivity. It makes the person feel like their sadness is a mistake or a failure. But sadness is not a failure. It's a natural response to loss.
So, how do we handle the heavy stuff? If we can't just stay positive, what do we do?
We have to feel it. It sounds simple, but it's very hard. You have to let the sadness be there without trying to push it away immediately. It's like a storm. You can't stop the rain. You just have to wait for the storm to pass.
But what if the storm doesn't pass? What if someone feels stuck in that dark place for months?
That is a very important question. There is a difference between feeling sad and clinical depression. If you feel a deep emptiness, if you lose interest in things you used to love, or if you feel like you have no energy to even brush your teeth for several weeks, that might be depression.
And that's not something you can just think your way out of, right?
Exactly. Depression is like a physical illness of the brain's chemistry. You wouldn't try to think your way out of a broken leg, right? You would go to a doctor and get a cast.
So the message here is if the weight is too heavy to carry alone, you must ask for help.
Yes, asking for help is the bravest thing you can do, whether it's talking to a doctor, a therapist, or a support group. These people are like mountain guides. They can't walk the path for you, but they have a map and they can show you where the dangerous parts are.
I think many people wait until they are at the bottom to ask for help, but you can ask for help when you're just starting to feel overwhelmed, too.
Definitely. Prevention is better than a cure. You don't have to wait for a total breakdown to see a therapist. In fact, many people see a therapist just to keep their minds healthy, even when life is going well.
It's all about checking in with yourself. We check our bank accounts, we check our car's oil, we check the weather. We should check our inner weather too.
I love that. Inner weather. Some days are sunny, some are cloudy, and some have hurricanes. All of them are okay. The goal isn't to have 365 days of sun. The goal is to know how to find shelter when it rains.
We have talked about so many things today, Mia. From breathing techniques and the circle of control to the importance of sleep and knowing when to ask a professional for help.
It's a lot to think about, isn't it? But if our listeners remember only one thing from today, I hope it's this. Your mental health is a journey, not a destination. You don't fix it once and then you're done. It's something you take care of every single day, just like brushing your teeth.
I feel much better after this conversation. I realize now that I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be kind to myself. And when the inner critic starts shouting, I'm going to use that box breathing we talked about.
That's the spirit, Leo. And for everyone listening, remember that small changes lead to big results. You don't have to change your whole life today. Maybe today you just take a 10-minute walk, or you put your phone away 30 minutes before bed. Those small wins add up.
Before we go, we want to say a huge thank you to everyone for listening to this special episode. We really hope these tips help you feel a bit more balanced and calm in your daily life.
If you found this episode helpful, please show us some love. It really helps our channel grow. You can do that by hitting the like button right now. It only takes a second, but it means a lot to us.
And if you want to improve your English while learning more about life, health, and interesting stories, make sure to click that subscribe button. Join our Two Voices community so you never miss an episode.
We love reading your comments too. What is one thing you do to take care of your mental health? Let us know in the comments section below. We learn so much from you.
Thank you for being with us today. Take a deep breath, be kind to yourself, and we will talk to you very soon.
Goodbye, everyone. Take care of your minds.
Bye-bye.